Okay, welcome everybody to the NeuroHackademy 2025 version. We're really glad you're all here. I'm going to start by just introducing myself and the organizing committee. So, hi, my name's Noah Benson. Most of you have probably communicated with me a little bit over email or Slack or whatever. Additionally, my co-organizer is Ariel Rokem right here in the front. You've probably communicated with him too, and you'll be seeing lots of us over the next couple weeks. We're starting off this morning with this introductory kind of set of slides here, and we just want to get you kind of oriented to what the NeuroHackademy is and what we're going to be doing for the next couple of weeks. So the NeuroHackademy was created in part because there's been this enormous proliferation of data in neuroscience in general. We've entered the area of the era of big brain observatories. And you probably will recognize some of these data sets. There's the Human Connectome Project, there's the CAM-CAN, there's the Developing Human Connectome, the ABCD, Adolescent Brain Cognitive Development data sets, the Child Mind Institute, the Healthy Brain Network, the UK Biobank. There's many more as well. We'll be talking about some more of these data sets in the course. And really, as this era of big data has proliferated, something that hasn't really proliferated is opportunities to learn about how to deal with big data and to learn about how to do kind of neuroinformatics work. A lot of traditional curricula in universities still don't really teach even programming for neuroscientists. And so this curriculum was developed partly as a response to that, as a way to inject more kind of informatics learning into the neuroscience discipline. We feel that using large and complex data is really exciting for many reasons. First of all, large sample sizes provide more confidence in results and can better represent a population. Having lots of data gives you opportunities to ask questions about interactions between complex factors that you can't ask with small experiments, or that are harder to ask with small experiments. It allows you to do data-driven and exploratory research, and this is particularly important at a time when these approaches are proliferating not just in science, but across industry and other domains of science as well. However, as many of you probably already know, working with big data can be really challenging. It's computationally demanding. Keeping track of things in a large data set can be very difficult. Just interpreting your data when you have a lot of variables and a lot of factors can be very difficult as well. And like I said a minute ago, methods for these kinds of research projects aren't often part of the standard neuroscience curriculum. So this, you may not realize this, but this course's official name, according to our sponsor, the National Institute of Health, is the Summer Institute in Neuroimaging and Data Science, although we all call it the NeuroHackademy. And what we are going to focus on in this course is, first of all, machine learning and statistics, data visualization, high performance and cloud-based computing, open source software, reproducibility, and data code sharing, and collaborative research. We're also going to talk about data science ethics, and that's sort of our curriculum. However, that's just the first week of NeuroHackademy. Our first week will focus on teaching you a little about data science and its application to neuroimaging. There's going to be a number of lectures we've brought in, which you may have looked at on the curriculum already. We'll look at that in just a second. And additionally, there's going to be some more just tutorial type lectures that we'll be teaching. During week 2, the goal is to take everything we learned during week 1 and to form into groups around hack projects that you all will decide, and we'll talk more about this in a minute here. But you all will decide on hack projects and work on them during week 2 in groups, and we'll end the second week with a final presentation of everyone's hack project. Okay, here is the calendar of week 1, and you'll notice it's a little busy. We're here right now during the introductory to NeuroHackademy, and at every day around 10 to 10:30, we'll have a coffee break. The coffee will be set up out here just outside, for those of you in person, will be set up here just outside of the auditorium doors. For those of you online, obviously, you can just take that as a break. We wish we could send you coffee, but we can't. And then each day this week, we have basically the same schedule. We have some kind of lecture from 10:30 to noon. We have lunch from noon to 1:30. For those of you in person, lunch will be catered here just outside the auditorium again, and we'll all be eating out there. After lunch, we have another set of lectures, and then another coffee break, and then another set of lectures in the afternoon. A couple things I want to point out about this. First of all, in some cases, for example, tomorrow, in most cases, there are options for you to pick which course you want to go to. So for example, at 10:30 to noon tomorrow, you have a choice of three things. One is Introduction to Programming in Python, one is Scientific Computing in Python, and one is the Design and Implementation of Python Libraries. The idea is that one of those should appeal to you more than the others. If you aren't sure which one you want to go to, feel free to talk to us. We'll also give you a little bit more idea of what these choices mean right before the lectures actually happen. And we're also quite willing for you to get up in the middle of a lecture if you decided you went to the wrong one and go somewhere else. We're not taking attendance or anything like that. Whoops. There are mostly just on Tuesday, there are choices of a couple things. And you'll notice that for all three sessions on Tuesday. Starting on Wednesday, we are going to have what we're calling a mini project for this week, where we'll put you into groups and we'll have you work on a kind of constrained mini project, largely as practice for the hack projects next week that are going to be on your own. And we'll talk more about that as we get to Wednesday, but that's something that's coming up as well. We have a great lineup of instructors. Some of them are already here. Many of them will be here beyond just the day that they're giving a lecture. For those of you who are here in person, we're asking all the instructors to sit out here during lunch and be available to meet with you whenever they can. Feel free to come sit with one of the instructors, or to, additionally, if you want to chat with them outside of lunch, feel free to message them on Slack. They should all be on Slack and should be happy to chat with you about any questions you have. People online, that's especially true. The best way to reach instructors, for those of you who are online, is over Slack. Feel free to DM instructors if you have requests for like a Zoom office hour, if you want to talk about what their topic or anything like that. And in addition, in Slack, there will be a channel for every lecture that's given, including the tutorials. We really want you to go there to talk about the topics. In fact, we've disabled chat in the Zoom rooms for those of you online, because we want you to ask questions in Slack where everyone can see them. I'll take a moment right now. Well, actually, I think we have a slide about this coming up a little later. So I'll pause. Okay, here's the schedule for week 2. And you'll notice that it's a lot less busy, and that's because week 2 is full of time for all of you to work on hack projects. So the main events during week 2 is that we start off at the beginning of Monday with our hack pitches. And basically we'll all meet here in the auditorium. Those of you online will meet in this same Zoom room. And we will kind of take turns having people propose hack projects, and we'll organize you getting into groups. We'll talk a little more about this, and we'll give you plenty of warning so you're not surprised by this or anything like that. Outside of the hack projects in group or in week 1, we have one lecture, just one lecture on GitHub workflows for project management that's designed to help you all work together in Git, basically. And I see some people with their phones out, and I'm just going to let you know that all of this is in the Jupyter Hub, so you don't have to take pictures of this. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. Okay. Additionally, a couple other things about week 2. We will have some lightning talks on Wednesday. Lightning talks the idea is they're like 5-minute talks. You've really got just 1 or 2 slides, and we go through a bunch of them, and you can tell us really quickly about your research and something interesting about it. They're kind of a fun set of talks. If you're interested in giving a lightning talk, I believe we have a lightning talk Slack channel, and we'll have a sign-up sheet for you to sign up on. And then at the end of the last day on Friday, next Friday, we will have our final presentations followed by a farewell reception for those of you who are here in person. There's also a welcome reception tonight for those of you who are here in person, and it'll be out here in the Alder Commons right outside of the auditorium as well. Okay, so obviously this is a hybrid event, and we wish we could promise that everyone was going to get the same experience, whether you were online or in person. But realistically, that's just not something we are able to do. We have, however, done our very best to make it as equitable as possible for people joining online and in person. So first of all, we've made sure that all the lectures will take place on Zoom. In fact, some of our lecturers will be joining on Zoom. And we have things set up so people online, you can hear all of us, and we can actually hear all of you. We have a device called an owl, which I'll talk about in just a second, to make sure that we all of these lecture rooms are accessible to both people in person and online. Additionally, we know some of you are coming from a distant time zone. Some of you may be watching this lecture later. We will be putting all of the lecture recordings online as soon as we can, usually the same day, if not the next morning. So if you need to miss a lecture or if you want to review something, you can always go find them on the website, and you can just go to the neurohackademy.org website and go to the course curriculum for this year, and you can click on the lectures, and it should take you to the YouTube video. Okay, like I said, we have these devices called owls. For those of you who are here in person, you can see this device sitting up here. It's called an owl. Yeah, it's got these eyes. That's why it's called an owl, I guess. So that's what it comes from. For those of you who are online, you'll notice that there's like a 360-degree kind of fisheye lens view of the room. That's because the owl has a 360-degree camera. And the idea is that these devices are great for our second week hack projects when you've got teams with people who are both in person and online. You can kind of set this in the middle of a table and have one person connect to Zoom, and then everyone who's on the online part of the team can hear everyone talking around the owl and see everyone around the table, and the cameras will even like point to the person who's talking. They do an okay job of that. Everyone in the room can also hear you if you're joining online. So they make a pretty good tool for working in group projects. We have, I think, 6 of these. And so during week 2, we won't really need one for lectures most of the time. So if we can, whatever the 6 biggest groups in terms of hybrid content of people both online and in person, they'll get the 6 owls more or less. Okay, we're also going to practice with these in just a few minutes. We have an icebreaker coming up, and we'll be practicing with the Jupyter Hub and the owls and talking with people online and everything. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Okay, if you need to use one of these owls, and again, I'll remind you, these slides will be available on the Jupyter Hub. I'll show you where they are in a minute. But if you need to use one of these owls, and you notice that it's locked or the laptop that it's hooked up to is locked, you can log in with this password, ESCI1234. That stands for the eScience Institute, which is the organization or the department I'm a part of here at University of Washington. Okay, if you are, whether you're remote or in person, you can connect to Zoom via a Zoom links.html file. Actually, that's a Python notebook, not an HTML file. Regardless, we're going to show you this in just a minute, how to find these Zoom links when we get to the icebreaker. So for those of you who came and got a name tag, you probably were asked to fill out a media release form. That is because we like to take pictures of this event and post them on our website. If you don't want to be in any pictures, please let us know. Otherwise, please fill out that media release form. For those of you who are online, I will show you where to find that media release form. We'd like you to fill it out as well, because we sometimes get pictures of people on the Zoom rooms. But I'll show you where that is in just a minute. Okay, so obviously we're using Slack a lot for this course, and in fact, from here out, pretty much all the communication is going to happen on Slack in terms of course logistics and things. So please check your Slack, be available to get messages and stuff during hours. There is a general channel there for general discussion and questions. If you haven't done so yet, there's an introductions channel where you can go and introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself. Please do so. Like I said, there will be a channel for each lecture or tutorial, including one for this lecture. If you have any questions during the lecture or after the lecture, if you want to chat about it, just go there. The instructors should monitor those channels. We will also make channels for your hack projects and your hack teams and any other topics of interest that come up. we're happy to use Slack to its fullest extent for this course. Okay, there's also a Jupyter Hub server, and if you haven't been there yet, you can go there by visiting neurohackademy.2i2c.cloud. You all should be able to log in without too much trouble by authenticating via GitHub. If you have any trouble logging in, please message me or Ariel on Slack as soon as possible, because you will need the Jupyter Hub for almost everything you do in this class. Part of the reason we use the Jupyter Hub is because it saves all of you from needing to install all the crazy libraries we're going to teach you about tomorrow and the rest of the week. So everything is already kind of pre-installed and set up in the Jupyter Hub, and should make it very easy for you to follow along with lectures and tutorials and such. And we'll do a demo of the Jupyter Hub in a minute before we do the icebreaker. In particular, check out the shared/docs directory in your home directory. We'll look at that together in a minute. Okay, we're also using Zoom. We have matched the Zoom rooms with physical spaces. So one of the Zoom room is called the Alder Auditorium. That's the Zoom room everyone here is in today. And we're also in the Alder Auditorium today. So we have Zoom rooms for various rooms here on this floor of this building. We actually have this whole floor for the NeuroHackademy, all of these classrooms. And I will be showing you a map, and we're going to practice going to all the classrooms in the icebreaker. But regardless, for those of you who are on Zoom, if we're all meeting in Alder 103, that means you need to be in the Alder 103 Zoom room. So it should be easy to keep in mind. Like I said, we've turned off the chat in Zoom. Please go to Slack, and we'll have owls available for collaboration in week 2. We encourage you during your hack projects to collaborate using Jupyter Notebooks and Git and GitHub, and we'll be teaching tomorrow. We will have some lectures on Python that will touch on Jupyter Notebooks if you're not familiar with them. And we'll also have lectures on Git and GitHub at various levels of complexity for people who might already be familiar. What happened? Did my... Let's try that again. Okay, everyone seen this? No, it's not here in the room. Sorry, for those who are online and confused, I bumped the HDMI cable and we all lost the screen. Okay. All right. We've also occasionally used Docker to help with collaboration. I don't think we're actually teaching a lesson on Docker this year, but during week 2, if there are topics like Docker that you would like to hear about, we are happy to have impromptu sessions anytime during the week, pretty much. So if you need reviews or anything like that, you can also get in touch, and we're happy to do that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the hackathon during week 2. As far as what the hack project should be, we encourage you to find focused or playful explorations of ideas that you have during the course that maybe come up during lectures. Your hack project can take a lot of forms. We're not very particular about this. It can be a data analysis. That's a very common hack project. It can be a software implementation, an epic poem, although I don't think we've ever gotten an epic poem. We do offer it every year. Really, whatever kind of project idea you have, we're happy to work with you on it. And we've gotten a variety of different kinds of projects over the many years. Many of them are not just software implementations or analyses or data analyses. We've had some really interesting ones looking at how people communicate about issues about software on Twitter and things like that. So think outside the box in general. Consider exploring something different from what you do day to day back in your home lab. Okay, so how does the hackathon actually work, though? So, like I mentioned, in week 2, we'll start off right at the beginning of Monday doing a pitch session followed by team formation. So during the pitch session, we're not going to walk every one of you up here and make you speak or anything, but we are going to ask anyone who's had an idea, who thinks they might have a project they want to work on, to come up and just kind of briefly, like just a minute or however much time it takes for you to talk about your idea, pitch that idea. Obviously, that idea is going to be a very half-baked idea. We don't expect you to have a fully fleshed out project by the time you're pitching. And typically, there are many pitches that don't turn into projects. People will just kind of share the ideas they have and see what interest there is. We encourage you to have hybrid groups for your hack projects. If there are people online, and I want to stress this to everyone who's here in person, we all have to do a little bit of work to make sure that the people online aren't forgotten, because we're all here seeing each other all the time. And we as the organizers work really hard to make sure that they have an opportunity to share. But if you have people online who want to join your group in the hack week, please do everything you can to help them be part of that and to join and work with you. So we all kind of have to work together to make sure that the online people in particular are accepted into these projects. Please check out the projects from previous years for ideas. You can go to neurohackademy.org and find information about all of our previous projects. You can also go find our GitHub groups for previous years. This year it's NeuroHackademy 2025, so last year was 2024. And there's Git repositories for all the projects there that you can find as well. You definitely don't have to wait until week 2 to start, especially to start coming up with ideas for your projects. There will be a hackstorming channel in Slack where people can start chatting about ideas they might have or brainstorming about different projects they might want to do. Like I said, starting Wednesday, we're going to do some group mini projects for practice. These will be much more constrained projects. We're basically going to give you a data set and some instructions and put you into groups and tell you to come up with some creative way to solve a problem. And then on Friday, we will kind of collate all those solutions that you come up with and share back. And I want to stress that these shouldn't be high stress projects. These are largely to kind of help you all practice using the technology and getting a sense for what the hack projects are going to be like, so that if you have any questions or anything before you actually start, we can help you out. Okay. This is a course where a big part of the purpose is for us to learn together. In fact, a big part of the reason the NeuroHackademy started comes from the observation that people learn through communities of practice, where they, especially with things like programming and data analysis, we can tell you the theory all day long, and that isn't necessarily going to help you understand how to actually do something. But if we can sit down with you and look over your shoulder, or you can look over our shoulder while we play around with data using the tools we know well, that's a much better way for you to learn. And if you can also work on something while we watch and kind of give you instruction, that's a much more direct and easy way to learn tools like NumPy and Jupyter and these things we're going to be talking about this week. So we really encourage you to be collaborative. Please be proactive. Please ask lots of questions. We love questions. We encourage you to try something new, or find birds of a feather who work on whatever you find is cool. Please check out the social channel on Slack. You might have noticed we have some icebreaker announcements that are going to happen a couple times a day. Feel free to join in. In a few minutes, we're going to run an icebreaker on the social channel. Please take some time off if you need it. Okay. Also in week 2, I already mentioned these. We're going to have lightning talks. You can have 1 or 2 slides for a lightning talk, and they need to be about 5 minutes or less. It can be about anything at all. We'll have a sign-up sheet for those. Additionally, I think I mentioned breakout sessions, but invariably, we don't get to everything we want to talk about in the first week of the course, and people want to hear about some other topics, and we're happy to, even if you ask for a topic that we don't know much about, we're happy to help facilitate a discussion where we kind of look into the research together or something like that. Okay, we wanted to say just a few words about mental health and imposter syndrome. Mental health is a major issue in academic settings, and we want you to take care of yourselves if you're struggling with mental health issues during this course. We are not healthcare professionals, but we can speak confidentially about any issues you're having. Invariably, there are people who feel some form of imposter syndrome at this course, and so I just want to emphasize upfront that you're all here because we thought you could learn something here. Imposter syndrome, if you haven't heard of it, is generally the belief that you're not qualified to be somewhere, or like you aren't qualified. Like the belief that everyone here is smarter than you and knows all this stuff already, and you shouldn't be here. That's not why you're accepted to this course. Everyone here, like, our goal is to learn together. Everyone here, if we thought you already knew everything we were going to talk about, we have a explicit part of our what do you call it, admissions process, where we make sure that we think you can learn something from this course. So if you feel like you're struggling, that's part of the design, but also we want to help you, and we're here to learn together. So please be kind to other participants who need help or who are expressing any frustration. And we're here to talk if you have anything you want to talk about. Again, these will be in the slides on the Jupyter Hub, but here are just some mental health resources for emergencies. We have a 211 line here for mental health emergencies, just so everyone is aware of that. Okay, finally, last but not least, I'm going to talk about the code of conduct. There's a longer code of conduct on our website, but the short version is that we're dedicated to a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of gender, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, physical appearance, body size, race, ethnicity, age, religion, or choice of technologies. We also every year set up a code of conduct team, a response team. The idea is that Ariel and I, you can always talk to us about a code of conduct violation, but if you're not comfortable coming to us, you can come to the students who volunteer to be part of the response team. So we're going to ask for 2 students to volunteer to be part of the code of conduct response team. Just send me or Ariel a direct message if you're willing to do that, or if you'd like to volunteer. And we'll make sure everyone knows who you are and that they can go to you if you feel that anyone has violated the code of conduct. Okay. In a minute here, I'm going to give us a tour of the Jupyter Hub, and then I'm going to talk about the icebreaker we're going to do. But before I do that, any questions on the format or organization of the course? And online folks, just speak up. I can't see you raise your hands or anything, but if you talk, we can hear you. Okay, no questions, great. All right, so at this point, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the Jupyter Hub, which is where we're going to be doing most of our work. So if you haven't already, go ahead and open a browser window and go to neurohackademy.2i2c.cloud. That's this part of the address. You may get a different, like your page may not immediately look like this. You may need to push start a server or something like that. And that's fine. It'll take a few minutes to start up the server, and possibly the fact that we're all trying to start up servers at the same time will mean it'll go just a little bit slower, but tends to be pretty responsive. The idea behind this Jupyter Hub is that all of our computation for this course can be done in the cloud. We don't have to worry about doing it on your local laptops. We don't have to worry about getting data to your local laptops. We can all do it here in the Jupyter Hub. It already has most of the main neuroscience kind of data science tools we use installed. If there's something you would like to have installed that's not installed, let us know. We can do our best. We can't promise anything, but we'll do our best to get it installed. I'm going to give everyone just a minute to finish logging in so that no one's too far ahead of me here. And just a quick show of hands, how many of you have used Jupyter before? Okay. Good. So a good chunk of us have already used Jupyter. So for those of you who have used Jupyter, this should all be pretty familiar. For those of you who have not, once you're logged in, you'll see a screen kind of like this. And I'm just going to walk through the very basics of what you're seeing here. And if you're brand new to Jupyter and you've never used this before, then I'm going to suggest going to the Intro to Python lesson on Tuesday morning, where I believe Kelly will talk about Jupyter and give a little more examples of what it can do and that kind of thing. Okay, so once you're logged in, you've got a couple panels here. Over here on the left, there's this browser where you've got your home directory represented by this folder here, and then everything in your home directory. Now you should have a shared directory and a curriculum directory. The rest of these are things I've made, so they're not you wouldn't necessarily have these same directories here. The shared directory is where we will put any data that we want to make sure people have available. And we're going to start by just double clicking into that shared directory. Now you should see the same things I do here because we're all looking at the same shared folder. For now, we're not going to, we'll put data there in the data directory later, and you'll go find it there when it's time. But for now, let's look in this docs folder. There are several things here. So first of all, there's a Git setup page, and this page just contains instructions for how to get GitHub working on the hub with your GitHub account. If you've never set up Git to work on an account before, this may seem like a lot of steps to do, but they're all very straightforward, and they shouldn't fail. If you have any trouble with them, just send me or Ariel a message, and we can help you with that. But please do set up Git and GitHub before you go to the Git and GitHub lesson. And if you have trouble with it, you can you can message us, or you can ask the instructors at the lessons for help. Okay, there is a maps.pdf file here. For those of you who are online, this isn't all that important, but for those of us who are in person, these are just maps of the space. And I am actually going to walk us through this map real quick, because in a minute we're going to do an icebreaker where you're all going to have to go to different rooms. So you need to know where they are. So let me see if I can zoom out a little bit here, or maybe. Okay, so this is an actual architectural map of the space. I'm standing right here in the front of the auditorium. This is the door back there. That said, I'm gonna scroll down and show you the more useful map, which looks like this. So I'm here standing at this star in the Alder Auditorium. These are the Alder Commons. This is the big space out here with all the tables. And then there's a classroom right over here, which is Alder 103, and we do most of our secondary. So like when you have two choices between things to see, one of them will be here and one of them will be in Alder. And then I believe if there's a third option, it'll be up here in Alder 107. Sorry. So here in the Alder Auditorium, Alder 103 over here, and Alder 107 in the very back that way. Okay. On your way into the auditorium here, there's these two little classrooms, Alder 105 and 106. And then of course the restroom and the elevator, and that's basically the whole floor here, and that's the space we have for this event. During most of week 2, we won't be using a lot of these rooms very much. But during week 1, we won't be using most of these rooms very much, aside from the auditorium. But during week 2, we'll set up different hack groups in all the different spaces. And yeah. Okay, so you'll notice there are stars on this map, different colored stars. And that is because everywhere there is an orange star, we have set up a owl this morning for the icebreaker. So all of the Zoom rooms are open and all of the owls are on in these different spaces that they belong to. And each of these stars corresponds to those. And basically, the way that our icebreaker, we're going to do in another 10 minutes here or so, the way the icebreaker is going to work is every few minutes, every 8 minutes or so, there's going to be a message in the social channel on the NeuroHackademy Slack that says, go to the next room. In a minute, we're going to give you a list of rooms, but you'll have a list of rooms that's different. And you'll end up converging here with about, between the online and in-person people, something like 8 to 14 people will be in a single room. And so you'll end up converging, for example, in Alder 103, and there'll be you and the other people in person and the other people online. There'll be a couple minutes after the go to the next room message, there'll be a message that gives everyone a prompt. And as an example, a prompt might be something like, if you could be telekinetic or telepathic, which would you pick? And notice there's no why, just which would you pick? We don't have a lot of time for this icebreaker, and so we need all of this to move very quickly. And so we actually have a script for you when you get to the rooms. Basically, you go around in a circle, or you go around in some order, and you say, "Hi, my name is Noah Benson. I'm interested in," and then you say whatever your general research topic is. Like for me, human vision, and I would pick telepathy because I would let me talk to my cats. And that would be that's the idea, is that you get all of that out in like one sentence, and then you go to the next person. So I just want to emphasize that during this icebreaker we're going to do, I know we're all trained in academic environments to say, hi, my name is Noah, and I'm interested in human vision, and I'm in so-and-so's lab, and I've been doing this project and this research. And there's this natural tendency to just kind of keep going. Please don't do that. Please just say, hi, my name is whatever, my topic of interest is whatever, and I would answer the question like this, because you're only going to have about 5 or 6 minutes in that room and we want everyone to get through. Once you've gone around everyone, have at it, talk about whatever you want until the next movement message comes through. But that's the script for this icebreaker. You'll notice also that there's 2 pink stars here, and these are spots that if you're here in person, your list of rooms may have these 2 spots, the coffee table and the altar courtyard. If those spots won't have anyone online, and we have these because there's more people here in person than there are online this year. So there's a couple in-person only sites for the icebreaker. Okay. Anyone have any questions? We'll come back to the icebreaker. I'll give you an opportunity for questions before we get there. Okay. There's also a campus map here in case it's useful. We're here in Alder. The gym is over here. If you kind of go north on University Way, there's a lot of bars and restaurants and shops and things. So just kind of to orient you, I believe we're going to do a very brief campus tour that's optional tomorrow afternoon if anyone wants to see a tour of UW campus. It's a very nice campus. Okay. You'll notice the personal release form is right here. This is what you need to fill out. This is our media release form. So if you could, for those of you who are online, if you could fill that out and email it to either me or Ariel, that would be great. That schedule that was on the slides is here in this PDF. So if you want to look at the schedule, we've got the schedule for both weeks here. The welcome slides are right here as well. So anything you need. And then finally, we have the Zoom links notebook. This is just a real simple notebook that has links to all the Zoom links. So for all of you who are online and need to find the Alder 103 Zoom link or whatever, you can come here and find it. Oh, did I just lose the screen again? Well, we're almost done with this screen. So, okay. So now the last thing we're going to do before we do the icebreaker, I want to talk a little bit about this curriculum folder. So if you click, if in your Jupyter Hub you click on this folder here, it will take you back to your home directory. So once you're there, we have a directory here called curriculum. Now this directory will be changing over the week as instructors add things to it, but any materials that instructors want you to have will be in this directory. And this is actually a GitHub repository that we keep on our account. So if tomorrow afternoon you go to the deep learning tutorial that I run, there'll be materials for that tutorial in this folder, in the Benson deep learning folder, for example. Now, you notice that there's a folder here, Benson Welcome Intro. This is the folder for this session. So if you go in here, you'll notice that there's an icebreaker notebook. So please open that notebook. There are instructions for the icebreaker here, but I just kind of went over them. But again, as a reminder, please follow the script we have, which is my name is, and then give your name, and then I'm interested in, and give your interest or a general topic, and then my answer is, and answer the icebreaker question and say like 1 sentence as to why. That's the script. To figure out your rooms, you can come down to this cell here. Now, if you're new to Jupyter, this may all be a little bit arcane, but go ahead and click anywhere in this cell. Make sure you see this blue bar and these brackets, and then hold down Control and push Enter. And it will give you a list of places for you to go. Make sure that if you're in person, this value here is set to true. And if you're joining online, make sure it says false. It'll give you slightly different rooms, depending on whether you're online or in person. All of you who are here in person, you're going to be walking around. So if you can take out your phone and take a picture of your rooms so that you know where to go after the first room. And we'll get started in just a minute. Anyone have any questions about how this icebreaker is going to work? We all understand, basically? Yes, say again.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Say again. What was your question? Maybe not a question.
Yeah.
Is there a question online, or is that just accidentally unmuted? Okay. Okay. All right, so I think we're ready to do the icebreaker. Everyone get your list of rooms ready, and watch the Slack channel for the message that says next room and for the prompts. And we'll spend about 40 minutes doing this, and then we have a coffee break immediately following, just out here. And we'll be back here for the first lecture at 11. 11 is the first lecture. I guess it's on my schedule here. Okay. Sorry, at 10:30. We'll be back here for the first lecture. Okay, I will give everyone a few minutes to get to their first room, and then we'll, and oh, by the way, if you have Alder Auditorium as a room, come up here to this laptop and it'll be here. For everywhere else, there'll be a laptop where you can see the online people. But all right, we'll begin the icebreaker now, and the first prompt will be in a couple minutes.